The wealthiest retirees in Australia have something in common that almost nobody talks about. It is not how much they saved. It is not their investment strategy. It is not even their super balance. It is what they stopped buying. And the moment most people hear that, they picture sacrifice, cutting back, living smaller. But that is exactly wrong. The things wealthy Australian retirees stop buying are not things they miss. They are things they quietly realized were costing them far more than the price tag, in money, in time, and in mental space, while delivering almost nothing in return. Today I am going to walk you through 7 of them. And I will tell you right now, by the time we get to number 4, you will start rethinking something you currently buy without question. Let's go. Number 1. New cars. The wealthiest retirees in Australia are not driving brand new vehicles. They are driving well-maintained 3 to 5-year-old cars that have already absorbed the worst of the depreciation curve. A new car loses approximately 20% of its value in the first year in Australia. On a $60,000 vehicle that is $12,000 gone before you have driven it to Queensland and back. Over 5 years, the average new car loses 40 to 60% of its purchase price. The wealthy retiree who buys a 3-year-old version of that same car pays perhaps $36,000, absorbs almost no further depreciation, and puts the $24,000 difference into assets that generate income. But here is the part that makes this more than just a frugality tip. The retired Australians who drive older cars are not doing it because they cannot afford new ones. They are doing it because they understand that a car is the single most expensive depreciating asset most Australian households voluntarily buy on a recurring cycle. They opted out of that cycle deliberately. And that decision, made once every 5 to 7 years, is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over a retirement lifetime. Number 2. Brand loyalty. Wealthy Australian retirees have almost no brand loyalty. None. They shop by value, not by habit. They switch energy providers when a better rate appears. They switch health insurers when the gap benefit drops. They switch supermarkets, telecommunications providers, and streaming platforms with zero emotional friction. The average Australian household loses approximately $1,200 to $1,800 a year by staying with providers out of loyalty or inertia rather than regularly shopping the market. Wealthy retirees treat every service as a negotiation, not a relationship. That is not cynical. That is financial discipline wearing civilian clothes. Number 3. Impulse travel upgrades. Here is something that surprises people about wealthy Australian retirees. They travel a lot, sometimes more than they did while working. But they do not upgrade impulsively. They do not pay the premium to sit in the better cabin because the gate agent offered it at boarding. They do not book the sea view room when the garden view room at the same resort costs $180 less per night and they are out at the pool by 9 every morning anyway. They plan. They book early. They use points strategically. They understand that the experience of a holiday is almost entirely determined by who you go with and what you do, not by the thread count of the sheets or the view from the window. The upgrade is not the memory. The destination is. Number 4. Financial products they do not understand. This one is significant, and it is the one that separates the truly wealthy retirees from the ones who had money and lost it quietly. Wealthy Australian retirees do not buy structured investment products they cannot explain to a 12-year-old. They do not put money into alternatives, private placements, or boutique managed funds because a financial advisor told them the returns look compelling. They are ruthlessly simple in their investment choices. Low-cost index funds, direct property, term deposits for their cash buffer, dividend-paying ASX shares they have held for 20 years. The financial services industry generates enormous revenue from the gap between what products cost and what they deliver. Wealthy retirees have figured out that the most sophisticated investment strategy available to most Australians is also the simplest one. Stop paying someone else to make decisions you could make for $10 a year in ETF management fees. Number 5. Keeping up appearances. The clothing, the handbags, the watches, the business class upgrade to impress someone on a flight to Melbourne. Wealthy retired Australians stop buying status almost entirely. And it is not because they cannot afford it. It is because they have done the accounting and realize that status purchases are the most expensive form of external validation available. They last approximately 72 hours before the next one is needed. They create no lasting utility. And they are purchased, more often than not, for an audience of people whose opinion has no bearing on the quality of anyone's actual life. The retired Australian who stops buying status does not feel poorer. They feel lighter. And the money that was flowing toward appearances starts flowing toward experiences, toward family, toward the next generation. Things that actually generate lasting satisfaction rather than a temporary spike. Number 6. Extended warranties and insurance they never claim. The extended warranty on a $900 refrigerator. The comprehensive travel insurance on a cruise to New Zealand. The gap cover on a dental procedure that cost less than the premium. The income protection policy continued into retirement when there is no longer any income to protect. Wealthy Australian retirees audit their insurance and warranty coverage ruthlessly and regularly. They keep what is genuinely necessary: private health insurance, appropriate home and contents cover, appropriate vehicle insurance. They eliminate everything that exists primarily because a salesperson recommended it or because cancelling it felt like too much effort. The mathematics of most extended warranties and low-value insurance policies heavily favours the provider. Wealthy retirees understand that self-insurance, keeping a liquid cash buffer for unexpected costs, almost always wins over paying premiums on low-probability risks for low-value items. Number 7. Other people's financial emergencies. This one is the most uncomfortable. And it is the one wealthy Australian retirees talk about least publicly. They stop being the financial safety net for adult children, extended family members, and friends who have not built their own financial foundations. Not because they are selfish. Because they have learned, sometimes the hard way, that consistently funding someone else's financial choices does not solve the underlying problem. It delays it. And in the process, it erodes the financial security that the retiree spent decades building. The wealthiest and happiest retired Australians are still generous. Extraordinarily generous, in many cases. They fund grandchildren's education. They contribute to family holidays. They make gifts with intention and joy. But they have stopped writing checks to solve problems that checks alone cannot fix. And they have learned to say no with warmth rather than guilt, because they understand that protecting their own financial security is not selfishness. It is the only way they can remain genuinely helpful to the people they love for the next 20 or 30 years. So here is the pattern across all 7. The things wealthy Australian retirees stop buying are not things that made them happy. They are things that created the feeling of progress, status, generosity, or security without actually delivering any of those things in a durable way. The new car felt like success. The brand loyalty felt like reliability. The upgrade felt like comfort. The complex product felt sophisticated. The status purchase felt rewarding. The warranty felt responsible. The check felt loving. None of them delivered what they promised. And wealthy retirees, almost universally, figured that out, either before retirement or early in it, and redirected the money toward things that actually do. The single most powerful financial move available to any Australian at any age is not finding a better investment. It is auditing what your money is currently flowing toward and asking, honestly, whether it is delivering anything real in return. If this gave you something worth thinking about, hit the like button and subscribe. I will see you in the next one.